Hey folks, Dan here. I wanted to jump in and do a recap on some of the stocks that we've been looking at and have made previous videos about, but also wanted to throw in a few new tickers to sort of show what the charts are looking like for them in case they're interesting to you or if you want to jump into them. I would say if you enjoy this video or have enjoyed any of my other videos, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps a lot, and I definitely appreciate it. But let's jump into this video. So we're on Palantir right now. We're actually just a few minutes before market close, so you might see some price movement there. But this is the 1 hour chart on Palantir. I'll link above. I previously put out a video on Palantir that I said basically all aboard, the train's about to leave the station. I still think that's true. As you can see, it's sort of like hit a little bit of a rocky patch here, but I think that we're sitting in an okay position with Palantir, and I'll sort of talk through why. All of these red and blue lines on the chart were there previously. That's from our initial video. I added in this yellow one today because I think that the bullish case here is that we've basically hit a triple bottom here. And this lines up with this zone, which had a lot of topping out when we were hitting it as resistance and had a lot of bottoming out when we were hitting it as support. So there is something to this 24-28 price point, and I'm hoping that in our current configuration that Palantir uses this as a springboard essentially, because while I do think there'll be some consolidation in this zone, this mid 26 to mid 27 zone, I don't think that there's much resistance for us to get to this 30.52 mark, to be honest. So obviously it's going to take some kind of a reversal, but that's what I'm considering this 24-28 very well might be. So we'll keep an eye on that and kind of see what happens. Next, let's take a look at AMC. Let's get out of this hour. I'll sort of talk through what happened today. This is the 1 minute chart. And we've had this 9/11, 9/31, and so on. We've had all of those zones drawn since last Friday. And as you see, it was doing a lot of bouncing around at that 9/11 level today. I was consistently tweeting out this morning that it needs to establish that 9/11 as support so that we can get to 10, and it just wasn't able to do it. And so that's part of the reason why you saw this drop. I did also tweet out, I drew this channel in here today and said, here's our best chance to get back to 9/11 before end of day, but obviously this is when the market had a little freak out here, so that wasn't just an AMC thing, that was a total market meltdown for a few minutes. But it fell out of the channel and it wasn't able to get back into it. You saw it sort of tried up here, but it just couldn't. The good news is, while the market was tumbling, this 851 level, which we had drawn in last Friday, stood up. So AMC bounced right off of that, which is a good sign. I do worry that it's going to get drawn back down to it again, and we'll have to see if it can bounce off of it again before it can re-rise to this 9/11 level. So sort of cautious optimism here on my part. But I mean, the bottom line is just, if we can't get to that 9/11 level of support soon, I do think that it's just going to kind of lose steam, and we're going to fall to this 850 level. And we'll just have to see if it can hold that. If you're looking at this box wondering what this is, I tweeted this out today too. Just something to note for yourselves: whenever there's these really sudden, steep sell-offs, that are market wide, which is what happened here, oftentimes what will happen is when that reverses, whatever that price zone was where the sell-off really accelerated, so that's right here, when the price returns to it, it'll often struggle to get back over that price. And as you see, that happened here. It bumped into it several times and finally fought its way through, but then it couldn't get itself back into the channel. And now we're down here at 878 after hours. So yeah, those are the things I'd be looking for in AMC. If we zoom out briefly, we do have these zones that we had drawn in the other day. This still stands true. This green square basically means if we can establish this 911 as support, that is our ticket to the money. That's still the case. And then, there's still these sort of like consolidation zones. You see that this lines up very much with the where the price action ended up after the tumble today. And this was what I had said, I guess this would have been yesterday. This red zone is like critical support level, like needs to be holding that support level. And we saw that hold up. So we'll see. That's where I am with my thoughts on AMC. Let's hop over to NIO and let's get ourselves back to the 1 minute. I had thrown this channel in here again today as this was happening and basically said, here's our best chance for NIO to claw back some of what it lost today, which it was double-digit loss today percentage-wise. So that's a pretty rough day for the NIO crowd. I'm going to get rid of this channel because it didn't hold up. I drew in this yellow, this level in yellow at 43.49. I drew this in today, and it's not because it's hitting, its head here. It's actually because this draws back. Let me see how far back we have to go to see it. Maybe on the hour. This yellow actually draws back to here. Okay, this is back at the end of December. And there was several times which the price approached or bounced off of this level that held up at that point and launched it into this nice run up to almost $67 by mid-January. So, looking for a repeat of that, that would be an ideal scenario here, that we can springboard off this 43.49. First, though, we have to get over it because now we're stuck under it, I believe. Let's just get to today. Yeah, so now we're stuck under it. Our next level of support, which I hope we don't even have to deal with, is what I had drawn in here over the weekend at 41.39. But I'm hoping, as you see right here, this is getting drawn back to the yellow line. So I'm hoping that that can be our springboard and get us going in the right direction again. We shall see. All right, let's go to GME and GameStop today. Let's go to the 1 minute. I definitely had like a a misfire on this today. I had tweeted out when we were in this channel. I had drawn a channel here. I can kind of show you. I had drawn this channel and I had basically said, I think we might end the day at like 143 was basically what I said. That's when we were in this channel. I think we were around here. And then obviously we fell out of it and the market began to tumble. And so did GameStop. But it did bounce off of this 117 level, and now it's fallen below. I still think that we're okay with regard to GameStop. There's so many additional support levels below this that it would have to be looking more dire for me to really think that there's an issue here. But this whole day was just sort of like one big retracement. It was like this huge pump up to here and then just draw it back and, basically end the day as though it had never happened. So, that just happens sometimes. I mean, this is like a really particular situation with GameStop. So, but I think that we're okay. I do think it's critical that we get back over that 117.79 and let that be our support. So that we can push back to the 126.77. But I mean, there's huge areas of sort of like free run here. Like there's not a lot of space for it to get stuck in these zones. So that's another reason why we want it to be over this level as opposed to under it, because the same thing applies to the downside. There's not a lot that's going to hold it up between 117.79 and this 112.96 mark. So luckily there's two catch zones there, so I don't think it would fall too far too quickly. And if it did, then we could reevaluate at that point. But this is where I'm sort of looking for GameStop to reestablish, regroup, and push. I've been saying this for about a week now, and I still think it holds true that GameStop will reach 200 before it reaches 80. So I think we're still on this upward trajectory for the time being. So that is the updates for today from the stocks that we had covered previously. I hope everyone had a good trading day. I know it's been a challenging couple of weeks in the market, but hang in there, and it's a good reason to always sort of like keep cash in the sideline as best you can. I know there's memes going around about I would buy the dip, but I bought all the dips leading up to this one, and now I'm out of money. So I understand that there's just a reality to that too. But just know that you can always employ the strategy of cutting your losses, and then when a stock or stocks start to show some strength and get their strength back, that you can just re-enter the market then. And yes, you might lose some of that swing in between, but sometimes it's much, much better for your mental health in order to be able to do that. So just some things to consider, but I will leave it at that, and I will see you all in the next video.